Hi, I'm Gemma, this is Crime Dog, welcome blah blah blah. We need to get back to this case. On the 15th of December 2020, Delphine Jubillar takes her dogs for a walk in the middle of the night and only the dogs make it back. She was planning on leaving her husband, Cedric Jubillar, and her lover's wife has just found out about the affair. Right now, July 2022, her husband Cedric Jubillar is in jail because 1. The police found a pair of Delphine's broken glasses at his house. 2. He is suspiciously doing laundry at 3 a.m. directly after her disappearance. 3. He keeps joking that he killed his wife. Honestly, that doesn't look great. 4. He can be the epitome of rude. And 5. He began dating again faster than a toupee in a hurricane. But where are we today? No body, no weapon, no evidence, and no confession. Did we just put an innocent man in jail? Roll the intro. Let's get straight to the point. Cedric Jubillar is pulled into jail just seconds after Dominique Alziari holds a live press conference. He gives 3 damning statements. 1. Cedric was inconsistent with his story. 2. Witnesses heard Delphine scream. 3. Police reported that he quickly and suspiciously threw a quilt into the washing machine at 4 a.m. just before they arrived for questioning. For starters, the washing machine thing was plucked out of thin air. None of the 3 detectives that came to Cedric's house at 4 a.m. immediately after he reported his wife's disappearance can remember hearing or witnessing a washing machine. The information that was relayed directly to the press was fabricated. It was a false statement. Yes, the quilt had been washed, but not so hastily just before the police arrived. It was at some point later in that day. And even if he washed it in an attempt to cover up blood, with the technology available today, it could still be traced. The witness that heard the screaming on the night that Delphine disappeared believed to have heard them at around 11:07 p.m. It was a neighbour, and nobody is denying that she heard screaming. The allegation has been corroborated by her daughter, who was 11 years old at the time. She also heard the screaming, but what they're suggesting is that the screaming did not come from Delphine. At this time, Delphine was exchanging somewhat normal messages with her lover. This is verified by the phone records. So most likely, the female screams were not coming from Delphine, unless she's somewhat of a distinguished multitasker. One of the inconsistencies, however, is about Cedric's phone activity. During the 4 hours in which Delphine disappeared, the signal to Cedric's phone is cut. This is apparently due to the battery allegedly running low, so he put it on airplane mode. But when the experts verify this, they conclude that no, it was actually switched off, which contradicts Cedric's story. However, a much more interesting detail has just been revealed in this case, because in March 2022, experts noticed an anomaly in the activity of Delphine's phone. Delphine's phone activity on the night she went missing goes as follows. At 7 minutes past midnight, the phone was unlocked by someone. At 9 minutes past midnight, WhatsApp is opened. At 1:33 a.m., the camera on her phone is activated. And at 6:52 a.m., 2 hours after she has been reported missing, the phone was once again unlocked by someone. This is good evidence for Cedric's "it wasn't me" campaign, because we know Cedric was with the detectives at this time. He called them at 4 a.m. and they stayed at his place questioning him and doing a preliminary search until 8 a.m. So at 6:52, the detectives were at his house. However, if we look closely at the movements of the detectives in the Jubillar residence between 6:30 and 7:15 a.m., they were checking Cedric's car. So therein lies a possibility that at that moment at 6:52 a.m., he could have quickly opened the phone right under their noses whilst they were at his house, just otherwise busy inspecting his car. On the 26th of April 2022, an expert analyzes Delphine Jubillar's glasses, which were found broken in the house. One of the legs was found under the sofa, and the rest of the glasses were found a couple days after Delphine's appearance on the kitchen table. It took a couple of days to find the glasses, which were lying on the kitchen table. The expert deciphers that the only way they could have been broken to this extent would have been with some kind of blow, or multiple, not from everyday use. This would align more so with the murder theory. She was, according to her son Louis, wearing the glasses on the night of her disappearance, and at this moment, the last time she was seen alive, the glasses were in good condition. The psychological analysis of Cedric Jubillar was released to the public. He was analysed twice. The first time on the 1st of July 2021 and the second time on the 6th of October. The biggest conundrum that is uncovered is that Cedric never says Delphine's name out loud. At one point in expressing his feelings, he has what is considered to be a Freudian slip. He slips up. It happens when he's expressing his hatred for solitary confinement. He can't bear it any longer and cannot understand why he is subjected to it, stating, "I'm not a rapist or a homosexual or a snitch. I'm just a criminal like the rest of them." What the hell does that mean? Is it some kind of confession? I'm just a criminal, as in a murderer? On the 2nd of May 2022, so recently, Marco was in a cell right next door to Cedric in solitary confinement, and what he tells the police rattles the nation. He alleges that Cedric confessed to him that he killed his wife. And what's more is Cedric doesn't deny saying any of this. The conversation came about after Marco supplied some cannabis to Cedric. They began a friendship. It was the early morning and Cedric was on a bunch of meds prison had given him to keep him calm. On top of that, he smokes the marijuana, and just after, in a moment of sedated, chilled out weakness, he tells Marco, "I couldn't take it anymore. I saw her message to her lover and I flipped out and I killed her." Over the course of their friendship, which lasted throughout the summer of 2021, whilst they are in neighbouring cells, Cedric divulges. He thinks that the body will eventually be uncovered. She is buried somewhere near a place that has burned down and there are 2 large trees. And he's concerned that some dogs or some heavy rainfall might bring her body up to the surface to where she could easily be found. So Marco allegedly gives him an option that will blow your mind. Marco, who will soon be out of prison after serving 16 years of a sentence, suggests that he could move the body, move it near Delphine's lover's house, so it would seem like she had been bumped off by her lover or her lover's wife. Cedric thinks it's a great idea. In revealing this to the police, Marco does state that he was trying to get the information out of Cedric so that he could essentially then go back and help the police when he got a location for the body, but he didn't get an exact location. So there's no solid proof that this conversation ever really happened. In November 2021, after the police first hear this tip from Marco, the investigators sweep another location of concern, just 5 miles from the Jubillar residence. It was an old factory for cleaning coal. It had been abandoned for decades and was lying in ruin. But once again, they find nothing. Cedric, whilst wholeheartedly admitting that he did tell his prison neighbour that he killed his wife, claims that it was just to shut him up. He said it so that Marco would stop harassing him about the matter. One last tip that Marco left us with is the blood in the white car. Cedric had also apparently revealed to Marco when he was hiding the body, he wasn't stupid enough to use his own car. Instead, he uses a mysterious white car. The investigators jump all over this, checking out every single white car in the neighborhood that could have been available to Cedric. And they find that one of his close friends who lives nearby has a white car. Not only that, but he always leaves his keys underneath the car, because Cagnac-les-Mines is apparently a super safe village. I guess he's probably not doing that anymore. So they investigate the car. They find 7 different traces of blood. When the analysis comes back after weeks and weeks of waiting, it turns out none of them are a match to Delphine's blood. In a thorough search, no mud was found in the house, in the car, on the tires, on the carpet. So it's highly unlikely that Delphine is buried deep in a forest somewhere, or there would be some trace of evidence or some kind of a sign that there has been a cleanup operation. And he didn't have one mark on his body, no sign of struggle. It just doesn't follow the typical murder scene standards. Cedric's lawyers acknowledge that he has many faults. He can be arrogant and argumentative, and he's not the most popular guy, and he smokes pot all the time, which kind of make him fit the perfect profile of a wife killer. With this kind of case, the statistics all point to Cedric. It's almost always the husband. But the justice system is flawed if it incarcerates people just because they are a disagreeable statistic. Up until this point, his lawyers have put through 5 pleas to release him from prison ahead of his trial date, and they have all been refused. Every Thursday, Delphine's family and friends search the area, much of which is dangerously inaccessible. But the search for truth has become an obsession for some of her closest friends. I'll leave you with this. Cedric among his friends is a notoriously excellent poker player, and some of his nearest and dearest are not 100% convinced of his innocence. But what they do believe is that if he is guilty, he would be capable of hiding it forever. We've gone through every single fact in this case. Should he be in jail with no weapon, no evidence, no confession? Let me know what you think. I need to say once again how grateful I am that you guys are part of our little French crime community. Thank you so much. And until next time, merci les amis. Au revoir. Bisous. In a thorough search, no mud was found in the house, on the car, in the tires.